gonna do today? Ew, that was so gross. I tried, girl. I tried. Whoa, they've changed. They've changed the thing. This is whoa, wait, where did I go? They've completely changed the hold up, wait, what is this? They've changed the format or the layout. This looks weird. Not bad though. Not bad though. Let's see. Let's move some stuff around. Change that costume, change it around. Tammy Brown. Hey y'all, good morning. How are y'all doing today? I guess there's a few things I want to talk about. Today we're going to be doing the, what is it, y'all? Throat portal. And more or less, I didn't title this more or less because yesterday that mess came out, like, not mess, but it came out like in 2 videos. One of the things though, something very, very interesting happened last night. I went into my watch later playlist. I was doing a little bit of light physical movement, I'll call it. I ain't even gonna call it exercise. But if you sweat a little, at least, even, then so I guess I did some light exercise yesterday. We're gonna look at that in a second. Actually, let's just go for it now. So bottom of the deck, transformation, girl. And what is this? Transformation with magical realms in reverse. I don't take anything in reverse, but then exiled right behind it. And they're not necessarily the same, but look at these 2 characters. Y'all can see them. There we go. If I come in under, you see it better. What is this? Oh, hello. Change that costume, change it around. There we go, kinda. Like I said, they're not exactly the same. So there could be the end of an exilation period, and then under exile, this guy in awakening. So I guess for all the people who would call themselves the misfits or whatever, some of that is coming to an end, I guess, potentially. But with magical realms in reverse, and again, I don't take anything in reverse, but I guess it may be time to. It may be like the end of this period of time where you kind of sort of hide the best parts of you to yourself, right? Where you don't show them because maybe you fear exilation, right? That you'll be exiled, that you won't be accepted fully. And then we have wisdom behind that throat portal. And again, it's not necessarily the same character as the transformation card, but look at it. What was I going to say? I was going to talk about a few things. One of the things, something interesting happened yesterday. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting happened yesterday. And so today we're going to be using, since this is expressive, the throat, we're going to be using this as more aligned. So I learned from Shonda Rye, Scorpio Goddess, about a year or so ago now. Actually, maybe a year or so ago. I think a little over a year now. It's almost August. That's so wild to me. But she was talking about, I don't manifest money. I manifest the things that I would manifest with the money. And that's something that's always stood out to me because I feel like, if I'm being 100% honest, I don't necessarily know what I would do right now with all of the money that I have coming to me, with all of the abundance that I know that is in queue. So, but I know what I want to do with that now. And so it's like, and then I feel like it also opens up more areas. It opens up more pathways to get there, right? Like, let's say the pathway that I get there is with money, and then boom, I have the money to do it. But let's say it's something else, then it leaves me open to those things as well. So there have been a few things that I've been putting in towards And actually, earlier yesterday, I overheard some goings on in the environment through various media and or people. One of the things that I've been manifesting, and then later in the evening last night when I was doing my light exercise, I guess I'll call it, I got an ad on YouTube like I've never seen before, girl. And let's just say that she was into it. And I was like, wow, like, okay, this is a lot. I feel like this is more than I know what to do with right now. But I am loving this. And like, I'm looking at it and I was like, oh yes, oh yes. And in my head is like, well, you said, like, not because, the spirit knows what you're manifesting, like always. Spirit knows what you want, but they also know what you like. And so as soon as, like, we got into it in this ad, I was like, oh my gosh, like, it doesn't necessarily scream me, but it screams me. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. But it was just interesting. So two of the big things kind of sort of that I'm manifesting right now popped up yesterday in a very sort of like, I guess in an interesting way, because if I wasn't paying attention or if I were in a hurry or in a rush, I would have missed that little synchronicity or that little nod or that little wink from, the universe, God, spirit, my angels, even my ancestors. I would have missed it. I mean, like, one of them was a literal YouTube ad, right? How many people hit skip as soon as they can? Oh, girl. I was excited. But I guess that's what I wanted to say a little bit. Sometimes it's better to manifest the things that you want to manifest with a resource rather than just manifesting resources by themselves. Because again, it's like it gets you where you want to go, and it also opens you up to different realms of different avenues and ways of getting them, right? Okay, so let's get into it. So we have the throat portal. It's number 40. Speak your truth, courage, and suppression. Speak your truth, Queen of Swords, easy. Seven of Swords for speak your truth. For courage, strength card, easy. For suppression, I guess I want to go with the Eight of Swords. Because, hold on, wait, suppression, I'm actually going to, suppression. What was I just talking about? Or what was this? Sorry. Or was I thinking about it? It was, maybe I was just thinking about it. There's something about like being yourself. Oh, I don't know. Suppression. I feel like there's a card that's very this, but it's not coming to my mind right now. It's like a card of like I want to say something, but I can't. Like I'm silencing myself type card. Maybe not. Well, no, because Eight of Swords it's less suppression. Maybe a Five of Cups, right? It's like having those two cups still, but focusing on the three that you don't have. Oh yes, I was just talking about it because of these. Transformation, exiled, and magical realms in reverse. Yeah, it's very this. I was like, I know I was just talking about this. Um, in this period of like keeping the best parts of you to yourself because you don't necessarily feel that they're safe in the environment. And so it's like things that you could do, but things that you're choosing not to do. It's like you're keeping this oath of silence with yourself to keep yourself from getting hurt, which is understandable. And we're coming fresh off that heart portal, right? So again, understandable. Um. So yeah, we're gonna go with the Five of Cups for suppression. And I actually love the Five of Cups. It's kind of sort of a five into an Eight of Cups, honestly. But it starts with the five, right? So we're gonna do the Five of Cups for suppression, the Strength card for courage, and the Sovereign of Swords for speak your truth. And we're gonna start with the Dark deck with the Ascendant edition. Oops, girl. Okay, fine. Not to lose cards. Thank you. Oh, I'm so excited. And then I watched Opal Oracle. She did the Virgo and the Pisces readings today. I was like, oh, it's not 2 in 1. And she was like, oh, it's interesting that I'm doing Virgo and Pisces today in the same day. Um, and the poems she's been reading oh, that's what I wanted to do. She's been reading Shel Silverstein, Where the Sidewalk Ends, as a sort of bibliomancy. And I wanted to just like do a little bit of bibliomancy. By bibliomancy, I just mean open up a random book, turn to a random page, and see what pops out. But I don't really have anything to like bibliomance with. But I do have. It's this one book that is very nonsensical, but it popped into my mind. Let me scroll down to my audio to make sure I'm actually heard. Okay, yeah, I am. All right, 1 second. Oops. Oh, that's so sad. Mm, maybe well, I think there's Ezra, the Curious Cat. Check it out. By E.M. Bernard. Sure. Yeah, sure. Wow. Oh wait, I didn't mute the mic. Y'all can hear me. Maybe. um. Okay, work. Okay, so I grabbed this book. I didn't find the one I wanted. I think I've talked about it over here. I had a lot of older, like really older friends, significantly older friends growing up, because I've always been attracted to maturity. So there was one lady who, I don't thinking back on it, it's kind of weird, but it wasn't. I feel like today, like somebody, like you could look at something like, I don't know why, I just feel like I started projecting like 10 times, 10 times louder than I was before. Um, but I'm also playing my peaceful meditations playlist. I don't know if y'all can hear it. Nope, you can't. Okay. I'll turn it up a little. Or I could put it up here. Right? I don't want it too loud, but so anyway, um well, she's a lady I went to church with, so it was that. And she, at the local community college, she bought me an astrology book. An astronomy book. And that's the one I wanted to pull out. But it's not up there, and it may be on my bookshelf somewhere. And I really thought it was up there. I feel like I've had it recently. But anyway, I pulled out this world geography book. Um, because I was like, oh, kind of sort of next best thing, right? That I somehow managed to keep from middle school. I don't even know how I still have this. And they didn't charge me for it either. I didn't write the year on here. Um, But, I guess we're just gonna open this up right here. Girl, what is this even? This says countries and cities, largest cities, and the one I pointed to is Addis Ababa, Ethiopia? Oh, wait, no, Cape Town, South Africa. Okay. So maybe somebody going to South Africa or Africa sometime soon. Let's see. Let's do another one right here. Oh, something to actually read. Here's a little paragraph. The Midwestern climate, too, favors farming. Although winters can be bitterly cold, summers are generally long and hot. Most places receive at least 20 inches of precipitation annually. That's 51 centimeters for anyone curious. So we're talking about the climate in the Midwest. Bitter cold, bitter cold winters, but long hot summers. And so I guess there's an element of extremeness. Not necessarily extremeness, but it's like the highs are really high and the lows are really low. But the highs are longer, right? It wasn't like long winters that are blisteringly cold, right? The long summers are hot, and some are associated with happiness generally. I don't necessarily, I personally favor winter, but I also like the cold. Sovereign of Cups. Okay, that's who we had yesterday. With the Seven of Coins and the Sovereign of Swords, and that's who we're looking for. So she's right at the top. So we already run into something interesting here. Oh, girl, this is real interesting. How do I do this? Oh, I didn't do it like this last time, but this is how I'm going to do it this time because we actually have both of them together. So we get Speak Your Truth and Courage together. So we're taking this and this. So the Seven of Coins and the Strength card are around the Sovereign of Swords for Speak Your Truth. So then the Sovereign of Swords and the Conqueror of Swords is around the Strength card for the Courage. Okay. Interesting. I didn't do it that way last time. Last time I took the first two and then I just left this one. And I put this back in the deck. But I like it this way. So, yeah, we got the Five of Wands at the bottom. Which is interesting. Actually, yeah. No, it is this. It's this Sovereign of Cups. And we looked for the Sovereign of Cups yesterday as a symbol of receptivity. And this was actually more aligned with the heart for receptivity. So it's interesting. And again, it's like we're coming off of this heart, I guess. It's not that interesting, but just like yesterday, there were some vibes from the solar plexus. And I mean, they're all connected. So, yeah. You know what it is. But yeah. So there's something about extremes. And then we also have exiled. Yesterday we were talking about polarity and contradiction, right? Um, and so I was thinking actually earlier today when I was in the shower or the bathroom, I don't remember. I was in the restroom either way. About how yesterday I was like, there is good and bad, there is right and wrong. And a lot of that is subjective, right? But I feel like there are things that are objectively bad. But saying that something is objectively bad is a little interesting. But I guess it's like something is bad regardless of who it's done to, right? It's like, I feel like a lot of times we look at good and bad. It's like, well, what's good for one is bad for the other, and what's bad for one may be bad for the other, right? An eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind, and so it's not necessarily good either way. And I think it's like, just because you're doing it in retaliation, just because you're doing it in response, just because you're doing it as a sort of vengeance, vindication, or justification. And justification of something else doesn't necessarily mean that it's good, but in cause and effect, every action has a reaction, right? And so it's like, it's not to let ourselves be sort of just like taken advantage of, but two wrongs don't make a right, I guess is what I was going for. So at the bottom of the deck is the Lovers with the Two of Coins and the Conqueror of Coins. Somebody ready to put in that long work, that long work, that homework. I've been doing my homework and I'm ready to put in the long work, girl. I've made my decision. Silence. And then the Six of Coins into the Ace of Wands and that title card. So that's where we end that story. It's gonna be good though. Ooh, with that Four of Swords, just wait and see. Bring back my girls. Bring back my squirrels. Where are my squirrels at? Let me stop. I don't know why. I think I know why. Let me not pretend like I don't know why. Um, but I was like, where are my squirrels at? And then what popped into my head? It was like I'm feeling squirrely. I'm trying to catch a nut or something like that. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling squirrely, trying to get a nut. I'm like, oh goodness, goodness. See, that's why like when I laugh to myself, it's because something like that popped into my head, and it's like I'm not saying that out loud. But I figured I'd let you in on the joke today because we're talking about leaving behind these periods of exile. Because in those moments of exile, what it does when we shut ourselves down is it separates us from our magic, and the time for us to be separated from our magic is over. And as I'm talking about that, Justice and the Hermit, the time for us to be separated from our magic is over. But it's also important for us to curate spaces and find those spaces where we can be, and then Ruler of Cups, accepted fully for who we are. So it isn't necessarily to just like let your freak flag fly on anyone and everyone, but it is to find those spaces where you can be celebrated and where you can operate in a more authentic truth. And yeah, we have the Five of Swords with the Five of Cups right here. The Five of Swords and the Five of Cups, I feel like that's areas where in the past you can't see them, but it would have involved a lot of tension, right? And it's like, well, let's take the tension out of the situation so that the body can relax, so that the mind can relax, the body can relax, and all of that can relax into the soul of who you are. Because I don't think your soul, well, actually, yeah, I think your soul can get tense and your soul can get triggered. I feel like a lot of times that's like past life memories, maybe past life situations, or even current situations where your soul would feel threatened. And what threatens a soul? Silencing it, probably. Um, Keeping it from expressing itself in its fullness would probably threaten the soul, right? I don't think anything else necessarily would. And like depending on how your mind, body, and spirit, what that relationship is and how they're all triggered and how those triggers play with each other, then it may also threaten the soul. But I think more than anything, it's like not being able to express itself. And yeah, it's time to put an end to that. Time to speak that truth. But then again, it's about, here we go. I was like, girl, where you at? Oh, girl. Oh, girl. Every time I look at this more aligned energy, quote unquote, I'm always like, oof, what does that mean? What does that mean? Bottom of the deck is the Two of Wands. So yeah, that's about choices and decisions and finding the middle ground between who you are, who you need to be, the environment around you, and all of that, so that you can shine. I think that's when it's like we sort of dig into the toolbox of who we are. We look at what the world needs from us, and then we kind of sort of see how we do that, right? And that's when we shine. It's like we don't necessarily need 7 billion doctors for the billions of people on the planet, right? We need some plumbers and electricians and nurses and cooks and janitors and therapists and card readers and star seals and everything else, right? And I feel like you can't best serve if you don't fully know who you are. And I don't think it necessarily terrifies the soul as much as like, and maybe that's why like being silenced threatens the soul because it keeps you from experiencing and exploring those parts of you, right? From knowing that. And it's like, I guess not being known by you could be one of the things that threatens it, because when you don't know it, you can more easily fall susceptible to other programs, I guess. I don't know. So then that would like threaten the soul's ability to, like I said, express itself. But it's like through your ability to connect with it, girl. Run with it. Or whatever. Three of Pentacles, or the Five of Pentacles into the Three of Pentacles into this Fool card. And I actually love this energy. I feel like this is a bunch of release that's happening. Because the Five of Pentacles in this deck, to me, it's like open hands with crystals falling out, coins falling out. We got roots on this, which is like up leveling and connection and growth. We got a crystal, abundance, pieces of the self. We have a rose, which is love. We have a key, which is initiation and new processes. And then we have a tooth, which is all about wisdom. And since these hands are open now, it's releasing all of that to be sort of rained down upon you. And into the Three of Pentacles, it's like it's giving you something to work with. Again, we have a fully blossomed rose here instead of a rose trapped in the coin. Also in this, we have the elements of water, fire, and air. And then we come into this Fool card. It's like I was talking about, like when you don't, it's what I was literally just saying about how you need to find these spaces where you can be yourself, because the more of yourself you are, the more of yourself that you discover, and the more of yourself that you discover and the more of self that you embody, the more of yourself is known to you or shown to you. And then you can be who you need to be for yourself and for those around you to do what it is that you're here to do. So you can affect positive change in your environment and in the world, and so you can like be happy and love life at the same time. Oh my gosh, what did we have last time? I think we had Justice and the Hermit together over here, didn't we? Didn't we have Justice and the Hermit together when I was talking about something? Maybe Justice and the Hermit are together again. It was something in the Hermit. Maybe it wasn't Justice. I don't remember. I was like, huh, interesting. The Hanged One into the Magi, we saw them together yesterday, didn't we? Sovereign of Wands, right? Yeah, okay. I was talking about stuff. The 5 into the 3. So yeah, in this deck, I feel like, because the 4 of Pentacles is holding on, I think the 5 of Pentacles, sometimes it's like not asking for help when you need it. In this deck, I feel like it's releasing everything that you were holding at the 4. And when you release it, when you make yourself vulnerable, you open yourself up to receive. And then from the 5 here into the 6 is like you receive so much that you have excess, and then you give from that excess to others. And then maybe, ooh, that's interesting. So here I feel like it shifts, because it's like, in the 2 of Pentacles, that's you doing whatever you need to do. With the 3 of Pentacles, that's you coming upon somebody that you can trust. With the 4 of Pentacles, somebody that you can trust to build upon, and build something great with. With the 4 of Pentacles, though, there's a moment of not quite being open fully to work with someone else. Maybe because of trust, maybe because you were burned in the past, maybe because you can't necessarily, you don't feel that you can trust someone else with this vision or with whatever this thing is that you feel is uniquely yours, but we don't know when someone else will come along and give us something that we can really work with, that will elevate us into the space that we truly need to be, someone that we could have been orchestrated to come across for that growth, right? And then with the 5 of Pentacles, it's about sort of opening up and letting that person in to let all this corresponding abundance down. With the 6 of Pentacles, it's then you getting so much in excess that you have some to give. And then with the 7 of Pentacles, it's like some of what you give plants seeds in someone else. And then with the 8 of Pentacles, not only do you come into this greater and grander sense of who you are and where you're going, but because of the seeds that you had sown, it gives someone else the opportunity to do the same for them. And so with the 9 of Pentacles, I feel like that is an energy of all of the seeds that you were given being planted, being tended to, and about to germinate. And then with the 10 of Pentacles, it's this forest of trees that you find yourself in one day, where every seed is a seed that you gave to someone else, that they planted and tended to because of the impact that you had on them in their life in a very physical, tangible, life altering way, right? So it doesn't necessarily have to be physical and tangible, but in a life altering way, your presence, right? When you were so full that you gave from the kindness and goodness of your heart with nothing, with no expectation of reciprocation or something in return. And again, it's like someone else can, like, that can change someone's life, and then they change someone else's life, and then by the 10 it's like you sitting in this forest of your good deeds and the good that came from those deeds, and how it's like sitting among your impact of kindness and your change, how you change the world. I don't know why we're talking about changing the world, but it is the throw portal, you know. It's what we all have the ability to do, but it's thought sometimes with a single person. Beautiful, beautiful energy. I love it. Okay, let's. Oh wait, yeah, that was the Seven of Cups. All right, let's get the Seven of Swords. I ain't necessarily trying to turn this into a whole hour some video before I get into these, but if that's how it happens, it's how it happens. We just got a 3-3-2. I don't know what they was because I'm keeping it moving. I hear my mother outside the door. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. So I watched anime with my brother last night, and I played some video games, and I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed myself yesterday. Ended up going to Taco Bell, got some food that I kind of sort of knew I didn't need, and I didn't really enjoy it, if I'm being completely honest, but the episode of Bob's Burgers that I watched as I ate it was enjoyable, so, you know. I already knew. My body was like, Taco Bell, really? But I'm like, body, ain't nothing else open. Everything closing at midnight, and it's 11:40. Sovereign of Coins. Wait, who am I looking for? I'm looking for Strength. Why did I think I was looking for the Sovereign of Swords again? Girl, I was looking for Strength that time. I'm just pulling cards like... Well, let's look and see what the Sovereign of Swords is, because she's actually at the top of the deck again. So the Sovereign of Swords was between the Four of Cups and the Lovers. So here we have the Four of Cups, where we were just talking about the Four of Pentacles. I feel like the Four of Cups can also be emotionally reserved, and are emotionally unavailable. And man, 1 second, y'all. Excuse me. All right, I literally came on OBS today so I could do this. Hi, but I didn't even do it, so you know it's cool work. I don't know why I just moved this back, and ooh, girl, see if I do that, I guess y'all can see me a little better. Ugh. But then it gets really hot in here. Hi, hello. It is what it is. So the Four of Cups, that's the space of being like emotionally unavailable, or just not ready to receive whatever it is that the universe, God, Spirit is giving to you. It's not ready for the wish to be fulfilled. And if we go from the 4 to 9, 5 is the number of change. So there's a change within the self that needs to be done. And the change within the self starts with a shift and a change in emotional perspective with the 5 of Cups, right? We're moving from the 3 spilled cups to the 2 full cups. And then by the end of that little journey, before we get to that wish fulfillment, it's like at the 5, there's a recognition of what it is. I don't know why I'm walking through the suits today, but I'm just going to go with it. At the 5, there's this recognition of the past, the present, and the future, right? The things from the past that are no more, or that will soon be no more, or that are no longer working or bringing you satisfaction. This present moment of being in between, and then this future moment of what's possible if you sort of let go of everything that has been running right? If you let go of the past stuff and come into the future stuff. Now we come into the 6, and it's a very sort of like happy, nostalgic energy. It's like reflecting back on the good times of whatever this is. And maybe it's the good times of whatever these 3 cups were. Is we go from 3 cups into 6, right? So it's like those 3 spilled cups, it's like we're putting them back up, and then we're reflecting them on the other side, and now we're like using these cups as like dolls to play out these scenes that, you know, keep us honestly stuck in the situation. Because if there were no emotional tie to it, we'd probably just leave, right? And then with the 7 of cups, I feel like that's about sort of like, and especially in this deck, I love it because, you know, it's the 6 cups on the bottom, and then the 1 cup up top with the third eye that has the briar around it, the thorns. And so it's about, you know, reaching the point where we really put that away, right? It's like where we take the pros out of those situations, and we also recognize the cons, but we don't let the cons affect us, right? We just, it was like I was saying yesterday, it's like you take the direction from the lesson, but you leave the person behind. And so that's what that 7 of cups is. It's finally making the choice to move forward, or it's starting to see, I think, because also with the 6 of cups, a lot of times when we talk about it, it's like good things in the past and nostalgia. But I think, because again, it's the 3 that were spilled, right? And then we're coming to mirror it with another 3, and we're using them as dolls to replay the beautiful moments. But I think there are also like bad moments that come in, or vice versa, right? If it was primarily negative, then maybe there's some good that comes in, some like breaks in the clouds where a little bit of light can like peer through. And so at the 7, it's about sort of putting the past in context, and now looking at one of the 2 cups in the future at least. But we're looking in that direction of the future, right? And it's like we do have all of this in the past, sure, but that's why I love this so much. But the 7th cup, the future, is above all of it, and it's so much brighter than what we could even imagine. But we need to take the wisdom and incorporate that wisdom and the lessons from these experiences with the 6 to fully see the 7th for all that it is. And so in the 8 of cups, it's about walking away, right? It's like, because at the 5 is it's the beginning of that. At the 6, it's that going through it in your mind. With the 7, it's kind of sort of coming out with that pros and cons list, but it's about seeing the future as brighter than the past. And with the 8, it's about that actual movement, so that when you come to the 9, you can accept that thing that you couldn't accept at the 4, right? And then after you accept it, then boom, you come into the 10, where you're like, oh my gosh, this is so much better than I ever would have imagined. Like the 10 of cups is your life after you accept the thing at the 9. So all that being said, let's continue, shall we? 3 of wands into the 9 of cups into the 2 of cups, with the ace of coins coming out right after that, girl. We love this energy. So yeah, it's like it's what you've been manifesting. And again, with the 4 of cups, you probably can't see that. Can you see it up here better? Kinda. It's like what you were manifesting, but with the 4 of cups, you weren't quite yet ready to receive. But then, girl, what we got coming out now, the 9, that 9 of cups, the 9 of cuppies. I still don't know if you can see that. We got the 9 of cups coming out into the 2 of cups. Right? Talking about your life after you accept this. It's part of the wish that you have fulfilled. But this 2 of cups is only 2 of the 9 cups. You still have 7 cups worth of wish fulfillment, girl. And at the 2 of cups, it's like, that's why it's 10 cups. It's so much more than you ever would have dreamed or hoped to imagine. But this is the space of courage, right? We're coming out of speaking your truth and going into courage. I accidentally went for that Sovereign of Swords twice, right? So maybe we have to, yeah, we do. We have to speak our truth twice. First, we have to speak it to ourselves, and then we have to speak it to someone else, right? And that was like, I talked about, you know, all the negative energy that I poured into Tigger growing up when I was in my bed crying. It was like one of the, like when it came to my sexuality, right? Tigger was one of the first people that I came out to. But when I was coming out to Tigger, it was like I was accepting it myself, right? And then I came out to like other people. So first it was me and Tigger, and then it was other people. And then it was some more people, and then it was some more people, and then my mom found out. And then we have that Ace of Coins brand new seed with this Sovereign of Coins. So again, with the Two of Coins, it's like you probably, I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but okay, I actually want you to see this. So in the Ace of Coins, there's one hand with the coin that has a seed in it. There's a coin with the seed in it, and then there's the hand, if you can see it. There you go. You can kind of see it. There's a hand down there. You can see the fingernail polish. There's a hand. On this, there are two hands around the coin. Let's see if I can get her in there. Is that the crown? I read you down beneath the ground. Okay. There are two hands around that coin. I don't know if that's even the hand with the coin. Or is it down here? No, that's the crown. Yeah, there are two hands around that coin. And so, also the lovers is like two hands around something. So there's something about, again, it opens you up to collaboration with other people, we'll say. Because, like, Rome, it's like some things, a lot of things aren't necessarily built themselves. There's usually cooperation in some way, be that in the form of receiving materials, using someone else's technology, or something like that, right? Or whenever you're like taking something and you're putting it forward onto the market or something like that. I don't know. Not necessarily always, but there's something about this that's co-creative, and then we have this Two of Coins where they're tied together. It's like one person has the resources, the other person has the knowledge and experience, right? Because we have a coin with the tooth tied to a coin with the crystal. So this could be romantic, or it could be business, or it could be anything. And it was like I was using I don't think I fully dived into it, but yeah, I kind of sort of did with the Four of Pentacles into when I started with the two into the three, right? It's like there's someone that you're working with at the Three of Pentacles, but you may not necessarily fully trust them or be open or vulnerable enough to really communicate your vision to let someone else know what they need to do. And I think that's another thing that we don't do sometimes. We don't effectively communicate our visions to other people. We don't effectively communicate our truth to other people. And so when they show up to collaborate with us, but they don't show up fully, sometimes it's because we're not fully expressing what we need or what we desire to come of this. And if we're not fully expressing that, how fair is it to expect for someone else to be able to read our minds or hearts or whatever, right? But yeah, it's like one person has the resources, the other person has the experience, right? One person has the ability to make things solid. It could be like one person is the ideas person and the other person is the execution person. It's like, oh, I have this idea, and the other person's like, okay, like I know how to get this done. I know how to make it physical, tangible. Girl, into that Conqueror of Coins. And we see the Conqueror of Coins a lot. That's that Knight of Coins energy. I love it. He has a compass, girl. We're looking for strength. I almost forgot again. I don't even know if I saw strength last time, though. Because I feel like if I saw strength, it would have triggered in me that, hey, I'm looking for strength. Yeah, and it didn't already come out. So I guess I did. Where's my strength card? I feel like I saw it in this deck, though, before I started shuffling. So it gotta be here. It has to be here somewhere. Ooh. Oh, who's that? The Ace of Cups just fell down right in front of the Seven of Swords. Like, nope, I ain't doing it. I'm not sabotaging anymore. Because I want this cup. I'm thirsty. I've been deprived of love my whole life. It's a love drought, yo. Oh, this is really interesting because we saw this card in this deck yesterday. But it was up here. That Ruler of Swords. We saw the Ruler of Swords up here yesterday with the Death card, I think. And it was in the space of mental acrobatics. Interesting. Bottom of the deck is the Ace of Cups. Yeah, somebody really wanted the Ace of Cups, girl. Ace of Cups was like, I need to position myself. Like, let me cut in right here so that when everything is over, like, I'll be on top. Right? It's like love is the lightest thing in the universe and it always floats to the surface. Even when you try to dunk it back down. Oh, why is somebody trying to drown love? You can't drown love in water. Love is water. Hello? Girl, good luck with that. How's that working for you? Excuse me. Girl, there's like this pocket of phlegm, like sitting, chilling at the back of my throat, just ready to like leap. And I'm like, why? Why? I promise y'all, it's like that little pocket of phlegm don't come up until I start recording sometimes. Is it because the Ace of Cups? I've got a pocket of sunshine, I got 11 minutes on mine. Oh, wow. So we're going for the Eight of Swords. First card out is the Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups. Like, Let's see. There we go. No. See, I promise, before I even came live, this card, I said it like Rahel, and I was like, oh, if I lift that up a little bit, you can see it. Oh, yeah, if I lift it up a little bit, you can see it. Then it's like I have to maintain the angle as I bring it closer. Ace of Cups. I don't know why I wanted to show the Ace of Cups. And then it goes into the Two of Swords. And the Hermit. Ace of Cups into the Two of Swords and the Hermit. Lots of mental... But the Hermit into the Tower, into the Pillar, into that Four of Cups, into the Two of Cups, into the King of Wands, into the King of Cups, into the Six of Wands, into the Eight of Swords. Okay. And after Eight of Swords is Temperance, and then it's the Ruler of Swords, and then the Two of Wands. All right. And then it's the Seeker of Swords. Okay. And then the Eight of Cups. All right, got it. With the Conqueror of Coins and the Sovereign of Wands. Conqueror of Coins, Knight of Coins, and the Queen of Wands. So that was a whole journey. It was kind of sort of back and forth. But I feel like, again, it was sort of that, like, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of Cups process, right? Of refusing it, dwelling on the past. And then it's like also with the Three Cups and the Three Cups, it could have been the case that it's like with the Three Cups, you're turning them upright mentally and you're like, remember how good this used to be. And then it's almost like you're taking what you know of the Two of Cups future and then you're projecting in the middle, or you're projecting beyond that from what you know. And it's like, and I think that's another reason why at the 7, it's like you're starting to look at that 1 cup more than you're looking at the 6 cups that, like, right? Because it's like, well, this was like, we had some good times over here, but with the experiences that I have with these 2 cups, and if I project or use my imagination a little bit, it's like, I know I can have even better times over here. But again, this is emotion. So like, you don't just walk away from something. And you don't even necessarily emotionally distance yourself or have to emotionally distance yourself from it either. It's about allowing yourself room to process whatever in the past happened that kept you from receiving this thing in the first place. Opening yourself up to the possibility of it. And then also with that 8 of Cups, I think the 8 of Cups, it's a journey. The 8 of Cups is a journey, the 10 of Wands is a journey, and they're very spiritual. The 10 of Wands is a very taxing, like physically like burden, like maybe you're feeling like fatigued because you're doing so much spiritual healing work, energy, journey. And then the 8 of Cups is like very emotional. And the 6 of Swords is also a journey, but that's a mental journey, right? Is there a pentacle journey? The Knight of Pentacles, I guess, but you know, he's low, so we'll just say no. We'll just say no. And maybe that's like, because right in the 3 of Pentacles, so yeah, we're gonna cut this, it's fine. In the 3 of Pentacles, that's why I just went ahead and I didn't even title this More or Less Throat Chakra. But in the 3 of Pentacles, you have the coin of fire, you have the coin of air, and you have the coin of water, right? So that could be the 10 of Wands movement, the 6 of Swords movement, and the 8 of Cups movement. And now with all of that movement, all of that, like you have to process through the whole set of wands. The whole set of wands you got to process through. When it comes to cups, you have to process up to the 8, right? Because again, at the 9, that's you accepting whatever you refused at the 4. And then with the swords, it's like you can move at the 6. Now, if you don't move with the 6, that's when you enter the area of the 7, missing out on opportunities that were for you, and then you go into the 8, feeling bad because you missed out on opportunities that were for you. You go into the 9, really getting down about the opportunities that you missed that were for you, and then with the 10, it's like you're down and out. Now, either you're 10 down and out at the point where you're just like completely crushed because you think that the best things in your life are already gone and it's never going to be that good again, or at the 10 it's like, okay, I recognize in the past that I was the one like limiting myself, I was the one sabotaging me, I can't blame anybody else, but I'm not going to do that anymore, right? I'm going to choose to do it differently now at the 10, right? You pick. But so it's like in the Suit of Swords, the Two of Swords is the sort of the stalemate point. The Three of Swords is the heartache. Maybe at this blockage, maybe at not progressing further, maybe because someone, it's like you have your Ace of Sword and someone else is blocking your Ace of Sword with their Ace of Sword and keeping you stuck and stagnant, and things get nasty. At the Four of Swords, after that, though, it's about taking that moment to rest and recuperate after. And if you're resting and recuperating after the Three of Swords, that means that you've probably put some space or some distance, at least mentally, between you and whatever that Three of Swords was. And then with the Five of Swords, it's kind of sort of about picking yourself back up, right? And it's like, regardless of how hard you have to fight, regardless of how far someone else pushed you down, it's pulling yourself back up. It's elevating yourself, dragging yourself, clawing your way out maybe of that pit that the Three of Swords kind of put you in. And then at the Six of Swords, it's you ready to move on. You in a space where you're able to move on. And if you don't move on, that's when you go down that 7, 8, 9, 10 pathway. But if you do move on, and then you've already done that 10 of Wands movement where you had to process through the whole suit of Wands, because we get movement at the 10 in that one. I guess typically in the Six of Wands, it's depicted as a horse, like a dude on a horse returning. But movement isn't necessarily what that card is. Well, I mean, I guess in the same time, though, the 10 of Wands is like we see somebody carrying a bunch of wands. So, what's the difference? The difference is at the 10 of Wands, you're deciding to no longer put up with the burdens of someone else, right? That's when you're dropping what other people put on your back to make your journey lighter. And now we're coming in with all of that movement, with all of that decision to move forward into the future with the Three of Pentacles. Now we're going to build something physical with that because we've already done everything else. Okay. Why am I even talking about this? What card just came out? The Wands. Why am I talking about this? Why did I start talking about this? Oh, yeah, because it was this whole journey. And then going into the Eight of Cups, where we're finally moving, and that's when I went into the 10 of Wands and the 6 of Swords, all these cards of movement. With the Conqueror of Coins, and I did say the Conqueror of Coins would be like the one with movement, and then there he is. The Conqueror of Coins came out after that 8 of Cups. So I guess that's clarifying it. And then we have this sort of Sovereign of Wands energy that is you in your power. You speaking your truth. You doing the gosh darn thing, right? And getting where you ultimately know you want to be. So let's continue. We're looking for the 8 of Swords for what is this? Suppression. No. We're looking for the 5 of Cups. I said we were looking for the 5 of Cups for suppression, girl. Have I passed the 5 of Cups? Oh, I'm so discombobulated today. I mean, it's like, it comes out how it needs to come out. So I'm not even going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm not even going to look back through these. Because if I got to reshuffle, I got to reshuffle, right? It's not like I'm going back. I'm not going back. So there's your 5 of Cups lesson. We're not going back. If it comes back to us in a new way on our journey, right? Where neither thing is the same, right? Like if you turn down a job opportunity because they wasn't trying to pay you what you're worth, now you know what you are worth. And they know what you are worth, and they're going to compensate you fairly if they really want you. Because you're a gosh darn prize. You're a gosh darn mother freaking prize. Goodness darn it. And we ain't settling for less anymore. I guess. Death to the devil. Amen. Hey, that's what I like to see. This devil energy been getting on my nerves, y'all. It's been popping out so much. But I feel like this devil energy really is, it's kind of sort of us in a time of facing our own shadows. but it's kind of sort of been that time. But I feel like the reason why it's so prevalent right now is because of everything that's like happening or about to happen or in the works, right? It's like if you've already done the work to get what it is, like if you've already done the 4, the 5, the 6, the 7, and the 8 of cups, please accept it at the 9. Unless you want to go back in 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 again. And that's, I told y'all about 8. I told y'all about the number 8 and how it's a trap, and I don't like it. Because if you don't break this cycle, you'll 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of cups that again, and you'll keep 4, 5, 6, 7, 8ing that suit of cups until you break the cycle and you accept it at the 9 to live your best life at the 10, right? Anyway, it's like you've already, like, girl, like if I already worked them hours, I'm accepting the money. Thank you, right? Like this is a job. This ain't like like if I'm helping a friend, right? And if I'm like, oh, you don't have to pay me, and they're like, oh, well, like, okay, here's the 5 of cups. And like, oh, well, well, like, I want to compensate you for helping me. It's like, okay, well, I don't know, give me something good to eat, or let's just hang out or something. I don't know, or take the money. I don't know. It depends, right, on how insistent they are. 7 of cups. I love this. I love this. So we got the 7 of cups, and right behind it would be that 8 of cups, or it's back here. Before the 8 of cups was the 7 of cups. Let's see. And so this is what I was talking about in the 8 of cups. You see that, or the 7 of cups. You see that there is 6 cups at the bottom. That tooth among the 6 cups that symbolize wisdom and experience, and then that 7th cup that stands above everything in the past with an eye on the future that maybe you couldn't see or it's hard to see because of that, how fresh you are from that 4 of cups. Right? Very that. Okay. And it's like, yeah, you can have options, but if your option is a non-option, then is it an option? Right? If someone's like, hey, I can give you an apple or I could punch you in the eye. It's like if I'm not looking for an excuse to fight somebody, I would take the apple. So that's like being punched in the eye is like a non-option. And I feel like that's kind of sort of that 7 of cups. Like the 6 other cups in the 7 of cups, like they're non-options. Or they're options that don't really progress you towards getting to where you want to be. And so that's why sometimes I feel like the 7 of cups is the illusion of choice. It's like, because you, at this point, you know what you want. And you know that that window of time is open. Maybe don't know for how long, but I don't think it's necessarily about the timing. We're starting with the ruler of coins. Hey, with that 5 of swords, I was just talking about you. And the 5 of cups. Oh, and that's what we're looking for. I was about to put it on the table. Ooh! Somebody's ready to move. I love it. I love it. Somebody's ready to motherfucking move. And this came out, oh my gosh, so close to the top of the deck. So yeah, the ruler of coins, right? And it's interesting because when did the ruler of coins come out? The ruler of coins came out a while ago. And I was like, the crown on the ruler of coins looks dusty. Like there's all this stability, all of this life-giving earth energy, and the ability to root it and ground it and build upon it in a way that is observable, or at least experienceable, in a way that can be experiential. But it's like it's dusty. There's something about all of this that we haven't been in this space. We're not claiming it, right? And I love that transformation is at the bottom of the deck again. And so I'm going to end this here, and I'm literally going to come right back and get into all of this because actually, no, I'll just keep going. It's not that long, and it's fine, right? I upload several. No, actually, I do kind of sort of want to separate this because I feel like I personally feel like there was enough in here for it to like sort of stand on its own. So I'm going to end this. I'm going to come right back and we're going to do it. And I already set this up to not be that anyway, right? So I almost closed my OBS, girl. Literally be right back. If you watch this, thanks for watching and tune in to whatever comes out next. Bye.